Now the plexiglass fits nice and flush. I haven't done it yet, but the book recommends to edge over this at about a 45-degree angle because it's quite a bit thicker than the door wood. It's probably a 1/4 inch, and this is 4 millimeter, so there's a little bit of a lip. Even though I have fiberglass between the inner frame and the door, at least one layer, it spaced it out a little bit, made it a little deeper, but not that much. So I'm gonna have to round those edges over on the windows. But that's all in the plan, it's all in the book. Okay, here's the other one. And this one's got quite a bit of epoxy stuck in the grooves. A lot of it I got cleaned up before it was dry with a razor, moving the clamps, scraping under it, but it's still got some squeeze out. Reapplying the clamps and it came back, but it's not major, so I'll continue on. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to chase the holes for the guide rails from or the guide points for the rods that come off of the handle, and then I'm going to drill through the epoxy to get the center of the door handle opening and the 2 screws that hold it. And then right here I'm going to re-drill those. There's copper wire there, but the screw will go right through the copper, no problem. The drill works pretty good. I already did the other door, so I'll show you. Going to go all the way through, but that is no big deal. Okay. And you can see the holes that were here for these have to go all the way through. And then I gotta find a center between the two. In the middle of this hole here is a pilot hole. I should have cleaned that epoxy up out of that hole, but I didn't, so I gotta work on it. Let's see. So I can start at an angle. I'm gonna have to grind that away somehow. I'll go back to that one. That's it. Okay, so I'll come up with a plan to get that scraped out, and I'll get back to you. Okay, what I grabbed is a carbide cutter. Usually used for metal, but it's about the right diameter. I took a different one and shaved away most of it, but this will give me pretty close to the center. So it's like a perfect fit. I had to put the small drill bit in this other chuck. It's off of my milling machine. It's a straight shank, 3/8 inch, because this drill, the chuck doesn't go tight enough to hold this drill bit. So I have the smaller chuck for the smaller drill bit fit in my regular chuck. Works out good. Do it from this side because it might push some of the fiberglass away if I go from the other side. In the instructions they show I'm using a spade bit or a Forstner bit. Well, I don't have a good quality Forstner bit here, so see how nice that cuts. These are only like 10 bucks on sale at Harbor Freight. Here's the handle. Nice pot metal handle with a lock in it, a 751 lock. Very common key. Not a problem if you lose them because they got them everywhere. Anyway, the handle's going to go, actually you put the handle pointing to the rear, so if you drive by a bush it doesn't get hung, but it has threads holes. That's what these small holes are for. Put the screw in from the backside, but you got to make this hole big enough to fit in here, but not so big that you can't seal it. When you install it, you put a bead of silicone around this whole thing and make it neat. So I'm going to aggressively drill it until it fits. Just go slow. Don't want to this would be a mess up if you mess it up. See, that's exactly the same size now. That's how the handle's going to sit. Actually, it's going to sit. Yeah, like I said, you have the handle to the rear so it doesn't snag on anything when you're driving by it. Take one more step. And if you lightly go to the next step, it chamfers the edge. So I'm going to go back through this side and do the same size hole. By doing this now, when I go ahead and coat it in more epoxy, all this inside here, you have to it's critical, because this could be exposed to water seeping through the handle. You got to make sure, doubly sure, that that's sealed. So once everything's epoxy, that'll get coated in there, and hopefully it'll soak into the end grain, and we won't have any issues later. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go up to the other door and do the same thing. The handle kit comes with these really short, number 8 by 32 thread screws. There's 4 of these. They're probably 5/8 inch long flatheads. So I'm going to see if
Let me
that's
see
the
the
right.
screw you're showing us.
That one. Here's the original one is really short, like it may be made for sheet metal,
Okay.
and it fits the threads. And so I was pulling the screws to see how long they're going to have to be. I got to look at the instructions and see if they're supposed to be a washer or if these are supposed to be pan heads or whatever. But they maybe would just fit right in. So let me get these holes opened up and then see if these are the right length. I'll go get a drill bit. I'll be back. Okay, I picked a 3/16 drill bit to drill out the screw holes, just so this trial fitting. It's a little bigger than the number 8 screw. It probably actually fit a number 10, but by going a little bigger, it'll give room for the epoxy later. And like I said, I'm going this way. You can see I drilled through with just a 1/16 of an inch, and it raised the bubble in the fiberglass underneath. So by going from this end, I think it's just going to cut the fiberglass rather than push it out. So we'll see how it goes. We're at the stage now I can fix any screw-ups. So I've drilled through the holes on the first door with the 3/16 bit. Got the handle. Let me see how these screws, how these fit. They came all the way through. That's barely long enough, but it should probably work. There might be some other screws in there. I don't know if these are the right ones. I should go read the directions. When all else fails, read the directions, right?
Right.
Right. Okay, I gotta get another screw and a screwdriver. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'd sorted all these out when we inventoried the kit. Everything was there. I'm gonna try these 3/4 because I know those will work. The ones I first tried are the 5/8. And then let me grab a Phillips screwdriver.
You wrote on all those baggies?
Yeah, I wrote on all the baggies so I know the book calls for this, get this screw, and they're in the baggies. Number 8's in one bag and the number 10's in another. So,
Awesome.
yeah, let's go back over there and try it. The 5/8 sticks out about 1/8 of an inch. I don't think that's enough. Maybe it is, because it'll sink in when I tighten it.
Did you read the directions?
No, I didn't.
I know.
But there's only these screws in the kit, so the ones that come with the handles, of course, are way, way, way too short. They're made for sheet metal, thin sheet metal.
You're not setting a good example when
No,
you
I'm
said
not.
I should get up and read the manual.
I should, but I'm lazy.
You're far from lazy.
Yeah, okay, so there. Now the 3/4 ones stick out about right, in my estimation. There doesn't seem to be any, oh, there is a gasket in the kit. There is a gasket in the kit. But I'm not gonna pull it out. It's okay if this is gonna be a little loose, because I'll be able to see if this handle is actually gonna be here, like this. Let's see if I can get that started. And then that's going to tell me if this is binding in that hole. If it is, then I'll have to go to a larger size hole. Oh, they fit. See?
Well, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Shazam. Okay, so I'll get it out in the light. See that's in there? But it's rubbing. It's rubbing the wood very slightly, but with epoxy on there, it's going to rub hard. And if it rubs hard, it's going to wear the epoxy away, and then water is going to seep into the wood, and that'll be the end of it. So I'll pull this back out, and I'll open it up one more size.
Stand by.
Got my handy dandy step drill. Let me see what size it is right now. Right now it's at 3/4, and so I'm going to go up to 11/16, just on the outer side, because the inner side is not going to hit that bezel. See, and these are good at shaving off the extra. So let me put this back in. Okay, it's kind of rubbing here, so I should probably go the 11/16 on this side too. Not a problem.
I'm going to make an episode just door handle.
Yeah. Okay. Try it again.
A lot of trial and error.
And there's plenty of meat overhang of the bezel of the escutcheon of the handle to the wood. So, and with the looks like there's a rubber gasket that comes with it, or felt a foam gasket. Yeah. So it's a little off center, and it's still rubbing in here. So I'll take my little ball here and open that up on the down towards this side. So on the second door, I'm going to do the same thing. Bore these out to 3/16, test fit the handle, and kick it back on the next after I see how it goes.
What are you showing me now?
Got the second one done, and the clearance between the handle and the wood is adequate on this side. It was pretty much a straight shot on this side, a little better fitting than the other one. My drilling was a little off or something, but it's not super critical. And then the rod's going to come down. The rod's going to come down here, and it's going to go through a little plastic block that just catches onto the door sill. And then there's another rod that comes off the handle here and goes through a plastic rod guide through the door sill. So that's it. That's that. I think next we're going to cut the hatch open, right, Teresa?
Yep.
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah, driver, I got a copy on you. Go ahead.
Stretching asphalt under neon signs, chasing down those dash white lines. Through the static in the midnight blue, my diesel heart is coming home to you.